Chicago Hockey Radio post-game show. Justin Lynch, Tassos, Kirkos. Hawks get some OT redemption before a 4-game road swing here. 4-3 in overtime over the Utah Hockey Club, getting their first win over that team this season. That one had to feel good, Justin, didn't it, brother?
Hell yeah, it felt good, baby. You like that? You like that, baby? Pookie, Connor Bedard, game-winning goal, clutch in overtime, a 4-3 Hawks overtime win? That never happens. Normally it's a 4-3 overtime loss. Man, he heard it. Pookie Bedard, he heard the slander, he heard all the talk, he heard all your yappings in the chat. Oh, what's going on with Connor Bedard? Oh, what's going on? This point streak, this goal drought, what's happening with him? He heard it. He has silenced the doubters, silenced the haters. When it mattered in the clutch, he showed out, baby. Took home the overtime win, his first overtime winner since December 2023 against the Winnipeg Jets. Your boy was in attendance. Unfortunately, he wasn't tonight. That's okay. I will take it. Absolute cinema, baby. Hawks win. I mean, has this team not been so fun to watch this past week? It's a whole different ball game here. And man, is it so refreshing after this the way this season has gone to enjoy watching Blackhawks hockey again. I can't wait to get into this one, man. I feel like there's so much to get into here and cover. This might be the game of the season right here. I am so fired up right now. I feel like I'm on something right now. I don't know what.
Yeah, that was a great game. That was really fun. Lee texted us right as soon as the game ended and just said he really needed that one.
Couldn't have said it better myself. It wasn't just that. I thought his whole game was good. Had a nice gritty assist too. And like before that, he was absolutely robbed, man. Had yet another crossbar post. I think it was actually both. I mean, he had quite a few of those this season. But he stuck with it in the forecheck, won the puck battle, got the puck kind of behind the back pass to Vlad Kaiser, who scored there. So that kind of got him, that got the monkey off the back there. And the rest of the game, he was cooking, man. Like you could tell he was on something. Did have a penalty in the game, though, which did lead to them tying it up. I thought it was a little, I thought he just lost an edge, but whatever. That's another talking point there. But he made up for it. In overtime, he made up for it. I was getting nervous. When he was out there in overtime, that was a pretty long shift, and he was staying out there. I was like, dude, what are you doing? You've been out there for like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And, well, he definitely left a little bit in the arsenal there. Definitely left some energy on the table. He likes hockey. That's why he stays out there. And he makes it do. He makes them pay. Love to see it, man. I could not be more happy right now. Perfectly placed shot. Look at the celly. It's always the same thing with him, but he loves that "are you not entertained" celly. How about the crowd pop with the goal?
The crowd pop was really good.
It was jumping. I thought the place was going to collapse. That's the way it should be, man. That's the way it should be. That's the way it will be moving forward. More days like this ahead. It's only up from here. I can't preach it enough. We've been trying to preach patience on this show. It will pay off. And look, it's just even in times of darkness this season, it's nice to get rewarded with games like this.
Yeah, it really is. Quick plug. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel if you're new here, and follow us on Instagram at Chicago Hockey Radio. Helps us out a lot. Leave a 5-star rating and review on our Spotify and Apple Podcast page. On Apple Podcasts, you can leave a little comment with your 5-star rating too, so that helps us out a lot. So do you want to start with overtime? Because look, I'm not trying to do any negative talk. That was a long shift, though. Like it
could have easily backfired.
It could have very easily backfired.
And look, the Hawks are before this they were 2-8 in overtimes this season. Yeah. So overtimes haven't tended to go well, nor have shootouts for that matter. When we were going to overtime, it's like, well, here we go again, right? Just like the Sanders game, just like the Canes game, just like the whatever other games we've been that we've lost in overtime. There's been a lot of 4-3 losses too. It was like it's going to happen again. Not tonight, though. Hawks were due. They were due for some good fortune overtime. They were due for some finishing. Love to see. I want to say this is our first win, like post 60 minutes. Like I want to say since maybe the Kurashev game-winning goal against the Wild. That was way back in November. Or maybe it's the one where Donato had that shootout winner. Those are the only 2 games they've won overtime all season, and they were both in November. Well, that was months ago, man. That was months ago. Yeah. So nice to break that drought. Come away with 2 points in this game. That's 4 consecutive games of a point. The Hawks have not lost in regulation in the post-Seth Jones era, and they have not lost with Spencer Knight in net. Well, another good night to be a Hawks fan, and Spencer, was a knight in shining armor tonight. 36 saves on 39 shots. Are you kidding me? Look at the shots on goal, 39-25.
Yeah.
This is a game for Utah that was super important. You got to come away with the 2 points here. Back-to-back for them, right? You beat the Red Wings last night. You got to get 2 points against this Hawks team. You're 2-0 against them on the season. You get 1 point, fair enough. And look, we had a 3-1 lead, right? And we choked that, but not quite. We didn't quite choke it. This time we were able to finish the deal and make up for it. So you love to see. I love to come away with a game like this.
A couple of points. One, your mom and chat. Actually, I did have this written down. The Hawks finally won in those jerseys too.
Yes, how the hell did I forget to mention that? Yes, the Winter Classic jersey curse has been broken. I put a good old reverse jinx on my story, about to be 0-4 in them. I knew what I was doing. I knew what I was doing with that one. So love to see that. I think it's the last time that we're in this season, and
Yeah,
that's okay. I think that must be the Spencer Knight effect, Seth Jones gone effect there, right? That's what lifted the curse, broke them. Those are some beautiful jerseys, by the way. We both have. She has a Bedard, I have a Nazar, and they both scored tonight. Speaking of Nazar, I think it's a pretty nice transition. How about that penalty shot goal from Frank
it
the
was
Tank,
filthy.
baby? That was Jonathan Tays-esque forehand, backhand. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That was absolutely delicious, man. He was eating. He was eating on that goal. Absolutely had Vejmelka swimming there in his crease. Another great game from Frank the Tank. Love to see him up there with Connor Bedard. Keep them together, Anders. No more line combination number 69 for Bedard. Keep Bedard and Nazar together. Those two will cook these final 20 games of the season. Hey, you know what happened last time Bedard broke a point goal drought? He went an absolute tear, man. And look, we got some time here this season. Let's finish the year strong, get some momentum going next year. A younger Hawks team, youth, young blood, fresh faces, new culture. That's what we're building here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The Nazar goal was sick. Like that was good move for a guy that has played really really well, but his one thing has been just finishing it and putting
Yes.
like firing a couple in the net. Yeah, that was nice to see him just walk down with the confidence to sort of pull that move off. When he was going up there for it, I was like, man, he's just gonna shoot it right into the pads. And he no, he like had the patience, and it was a really sweet move. That was awesome.
And how many breakaways has he had too that he hasn't scored on? This might be
Yeah.
the first breakaway goal he's had all season. And he had, with his speed, man, it feels like he gets one every game. When Frank Nazar learns how to finish, man, he's going to be a special player. He's got all the tools, man. Like he and Bedard, I think when as they develop chemistry for each other, that's going to be a dangerous duo, man. That's going to be dangerous. It's going to be fun to watch that develop. It's going to be fun to watch them continue to build chemistry, and you do that by playing them together. So keep doing that, Anders. Good call for him to get them back together there, and let's see him keep cooking. I'd love to see that. When was the last time the Hawks had a penalty shot goal, let alone
I
a
don't know.
penalty shot? I want to say it's the first they've had all season, and definitely the first goal they've had in that front for a while. So love to see it. You don't see penalty shots very often in today's NHL; they just don't really happen. So I was a pleasant surprise to get that. But that's when you're a fast player like Frank Nazar, you can draw those types of penalties.
Okay, so let's do some positive talk. Because you kind of mentioned one, obviously, is I don't know how Spencer Knight was not named. I get why Kaiser fired one into the net, but the fact that Spencer Knight wasn't named one of the game's first like 3 stars, I thought that was kind of ridiculous. He was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what more you need to do here. I mean, he was a big part of why we won this game in the first place, right? I mean, his first 2 games of Hawk, I mean, he passed it flying colors. He's been fantastic. He's been a rock in that crease. That was another thing going in that overtime. You feel a lot better Spencer Knight in net versus, Mrazek or, no disrespect to Soda, him as well. Like, he's a guy who comes up big in those clutch moments, can make you that big save. That's a difference maker. He made a few highlight reel saves tonight. Was it the first period where he made that holy
The save
jumping
on
save?
Schmaltz.
Absolute
Yeah.
robbery there from Spencer Knight. That was a highlight reel. He makes it feels like he makes a bunch of highlight reel stops every night. The Hawks aren't doing a lot of favors, right? I mean, his first game with us, he faces 42 shots. Tonight he faces 39. Doesn't matter, man. He comes away with the W both times. This franchise goalie, man, I'm telling you, like this is big. For everybody who wants to complain, myself included, about maybe KD could have done more today. Let's not forget what he did last week, man. That Jones Knight trade, absolute legacy move on his part, and I don't think it's coincidence that we're 3-0-1 since that trade.
Yeah. Probably a good idea though to maybe try and protect the house a little bit for him in the future. You don't
Yes.
want him to face, 35 plus shots every single time you throw him out there. But yeah, he was really good, man.
You
Just
know, good goalies can win a game by themselves, you might say.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you're right though. I mean, obviously we don't want that to be the case every night, and I don't think it will be. If this decor that we're building, good win for the Ice Sox tonight as well. Like when this decor arrives, man, like he's gonna have quite a bit of support in front of him. Right now, it's not there. Right now, he's kind of in the trenches. But I think if anything, this is good for him. It's gonna come a lot easier for him when this team is actually good and developed here. So no, another good night for him. He passes with flying colors, fantastic. Another guy had a really good game today, a guy that maybe we thought may have played his last game as a Hawk. No, sir. We'll see when he's extended. If that happens, hopefully soon here. Ryan Donato had an assist tonight on the Ilya Mikheyev goal. That was really nice. And
That's
how about
not
that
the.
fight?
I was gonna say that was not the Donato thing I want to talk about. That was on my
How about the
positives list.
fight?
The
Yeah, the
fight was
fight was awesome,
so
man.
he levels Logan Cooley, and
Mhm.
then Carconi steps in and
Lays it
is
with Pat
like,
Maroon.
yeah, he's like, oh, I'm gonna start feeding him his lunch, and then Donato, like, credit
He
to
held his
Donato,
own.
just yeah, oh yeah,
He's a tough customer, man. He's a tough
yeah.
cookie. I mean, Ryan Donato, man, he brings it all, man. Really, he's a man of many talents, and no, fantastic first game post trade deadline for him. Looked like he still had the motivation tonight. Hopefully, he still has it when he gets extended on that contract, right? But no,
Yeah, I
good
was
game for
gonna
him.
say he hasn't been extended yet, so
So he
that's what
still
the
has a lot to play
motivation's
for here,
from.
right? He wants to get that bag still. It's not happened yet. But also, like, I love when they showed the Maroon fight and then they panned to him on the bench, just like that face he had. Oh, like that's what it's all about, man. That's what hockey's all about. Just firing the boys up. Perhaps the Maroon too. It's like if you're not going to produce, at least fight some fools. Like I love
Yeah,
that. Bring the energy. Like that's what you're here for. Be an energy guy, a glue guy. If you want to stay here and you want to be a Hawk, like that's what you got to do. So fantastic stuff from both of them there. And yeah, Mikheyev is his bi-weekly highlight reel as well.
if um if Pat Maroon does like that is a very real point that like if Pat Maroon wants to stay in the lineup, like
Yeah,
that's how you do it.
that's how you do it.
You know, you like Liam, I don't know who instigated the fight. If it was
So
Maroon,
Liam O'Brien, yeah.
I would almost assume it was Liam O'Brien asking him if he wanted one.
Mhm.
Because I don't really think Pat Maroon is engaging in too many fights, you know.
Yeah.
But if you're Pat Maroon, you're probably not in a spot to be able to turn any down at this point.
Oh yeah,
Um,
no, that's how he's going to survive in this league,
yeah.
right? And he's been around, he's got that respect. But it's funny, those two look pretty similar to each other. They got pretty similar hairline and beard game going. He and Liam O'Brien look like a bunch of lumberjacks out there. So, growing playoff beards. But I don't know if either are going to see the playoffs. We'll see. Though. Utah's still in the race, but definitely one for them. You come away with 2 points. We'll see what happens here. Yeah.
Before we do any negative talk, I actually just my one Utah talk tonight was they're not a playoff team.
Oh, you're not convinced?
No, not even at all
Hmm.
after watching that.
Yeah, I mean, well, look, it was a back-to-back, to be fair.
To be fair,
They absolutely dummied the Red Wings last night. I watched that game. It wasn't even close.
the Red Wings stink too.
Yeah, the Red Wings aren't not much. They're not better than us right now, honestly. The way
Yeah.
they're in a free fall right now. So yeah, no playoff cane on that front, unfortunately. I think they can knock out the Flames. Maybe. I mean, I think they're better than the Canucks. I think they're better than everybody else below the cut line here. The Flames are maybe the one team you could say they have something to say about, but we'll see. I mean, I wouldn't write them off, but they're still a young team, right? But they have a lot of talent though, right? So I think the future is very bright in that front. I think the transition to Utah has been pretty smooth as well. So future's bright. Even if it's not this season, like they're gonna get playoff bursts. Like they're building a good young core there. I like what they're doing there. Guys like Keller, Cooley, Gunther, etc. Like they got plenty of talent. That they're not. There's no shortage there. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Just like the depth doesn't do it for me. It's a lot of
Yeah.
like Alex Kerfoot who just like re-up there for another season. Alex Kerfoot played 17 and a half minutes tonight for
Yeah,
them.
that's a guy at this stage of his career probably didn't need to be out there that much. How about Blackhawks legend Nick Schmaltz though getting on the board to start off the game? It was like, yep, former Hawks cooking us again. That never happens, right? No,
When
we're
that
pretty
one went
used to
in,
that.
when that one went in, I thought it was going to be a long night. I thought it
Yeah,
was going to
first
be
shot of the game too,
yeah.
right? Spencer Knight though, he locks in after that first goal. He lets in, like he locks in, man. He doesn't make it easy for you. So, but yeah, they woke up after that. First period was sleepy, but second period was great. That was our best period of the game. The second period used to be a Hawks' worst period, and now it's our best. Like this team is so weird, man. That was a 3-0, 3-0 unanswered period there, and then the third they almost choked it away, man. Almost. They bended, but they didn't break though, thankfully.
Yeah, my top of my negatives list tonight is the third period.
Yeah, that was brutal, right? Like we really didn't need to go overtime. I'm really glad we did. I'm really glad we did now. It gave us a certified legacy Connor Bedard moment. So I'm happy about it now in hindsight, but it's like, look, when you're a team that, past 60 minutes this year struggled and has a 2-8 record, now a 3-8, you probably want to do whatever you can to avoid going overtime, right? 1 point, who cares? You got to come away with both. But we did tonight, right? Definitely much needed. You got to learn how to win those clutch moments, those situations, right? For a young team. So it's definitely, an important win for this team here, a changing of the guard for sure.
Yeah. Third period to me was just like how do I explain this? Like, yeah, it's good because you got the win in overtime, but that very well could have just as well ended up in the back of your own net too.
Oh yeah, Knight made some big stops that overtime too to keep us
Yeah.
in it for sure and make that Bedard goal possible. So all credit to him there. I think if Mrazek, who's now gone, he can have fun in Detroit, and Soda's in net. Well, we probably don't come away with that overtime, but when you have a guy like that, your backbone in net, you can come away with moments like that for sure.
Good on the Hawks for bending but not breaking, like
Mhm.
totally
Yeah.
collapsing, but
Which they normally do. Yeah.
yeah, look, I mean, maybe I'm just like getting down on it too much, but like you can't do, like I don't know when they scored the bunch of goals, the three goals back to back to back, and then they didn't give one up before the end of the second period. I was almost like, okay, like this is a big third period to show that you can close out a game like this.
Yeah.
And because, yes, it is still a unk heavy lineup, right?
Yeah.
But there are young players in this lineup too, on the back end, on up front now with like Doc in there. And, I just, these lessons are like, you're not going to win every single game. You're not going to play Utah every night. Like Utah. Yeah. You're not going to play Utah every night where, I don't know. You just got to.
I know what you mean. I know what you
Yeah.
mean. Like it's a fair point, right? But look, again, when you're team these situations, like it's going to happen, right? So, good to show up when it mattered there, and no, for sure, definitely win games like that. Becomes easier the more you do it, right? I like that kid line they ran tonight, that Doc Bedard Dazer line. I was wrong. I thought I saw in the transactions that Doc was being sent down. He's being sent down for the playoffs in the AHL, but that's not for a while yet. So he's still up here. Good to see. He's been playing so well, Colin Doc. Love seeing him up here. And a lot of the young guns produced tonight, like Dalmasho got assists in that Bedard OT winner. I thought another good game for him. He keeps cooking. Love to see that. And obviously, Frank the Tank, can't say enough good things about him. And definitely a much needed multi-point game for Bedsy. He needed this so bad, like Lee said. So I wish he could be here celebrating with us. We were a little tense today on the show, but it's good to have moments like this to help bring us together.
The only other thing I had on my negatives list was Philip Kurashev.
Yeah, he comes back in, from his injury and, kind of does 2025 Philip Kurashev things. Not really being very useful out there, but, nothing really new there.
So Philip Kurashev played 6 minutes and 7 seconds across 8 shifts. The next lowest ice time was Lucas Reichel, 10 minutes, 7 seconds across 12 shifts. So I know we were talking today on the show about the big the big deadline miss for Kyle Davidson was not moving Ryan Donato for anything really at this point.
Mm-hmm. Which, by the way, sorry to cut you off there, but they're saying that Donato, he didn't get any calls for a first or a second pick. I call him cap on that. Are you really telling me a guy who has more even strength goals than McDavid, Matthews, and McKinnon didn't get a single call in a second rounder or first rounder when guys like Scott Laughton are getting first? I don't know about that one from Mr. KD there. It's maybe just then whose fault is that then? It's it's your job to negotiate and sell these guys. So maybe that's on you for not getting that type of return. But anyway, look, we're gonna ride this out with Donato. We'll see, when we extend him. I hope sooner rather than later. Let's not let this wait for the offseason, right? We gotta get this guy locked up if we're not losing for nothing, right? So hopefully that's a fair deal. That's it's a topic for another time, but it is something the longer it goes unsigned, it is something to talk about for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. The one name that didn't come up though at all when we were talking post trade deadline was Philip Kurashev.
Yeah, nobody's interested in him. He's done nothing this season. I wasn't surprised. But maybe the argument is if you get Peter for free, which they didn't. You could have done the same for a guy like Philip or even a guy like Maroon. But I was surprised they didn't do more moves like that. I feel like there are some guys like Martinez's of the world and Murphy's. Maybe they could have made a few more transactions, but yeah, it is what it is. A lot of these guys will be gone anyway.
I think Martinez wants to stay.
Yeah, it sounds like it, which I guess. I don't know. He's been all right, I guess. He's been better than Brody. That's a low bar. Glad seeing him not in these lineups, right? I don't want to play him the rest of the season. But I'd rather use that spot for a young defenseman coming up next year. Yeah.
Yeah. Good point in chat. Edmonton could have used Donato in the playoffs like that.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
You tell me there are teams that couldn't use Donato. I think he'd be great for quite a few teams here. And it's I have a hard time believing the interest wasn't there. I think that's just KD thinking he wasn't going to get the return that he wanted. So fair enough. If you're not going to get a first, then I do think keeping him was the right decision. I just have a hard time believing you couldn't get a first, considering how the market that we saw here, the selling market. But it is what it is, right? Donato clearly, by his body language tonight, just the way he played, wants to be a Blackhawk. And maybe there's something to be said for guys who are productive and want to be here, reward them. hopefully he keeps playing like that when he gets that bag, right? Yeah.
I mean, I did see an interview with him. They interviewed him pregame, and he thought he was getting moved this morning.
Well, I don't really blame him. I mean, if I were in his position, I would have assumed so as well. Like
Yeah.
he's done. I mean, how much points is it? 17 points less 11 games. Like the way he's been producing, man. It's like, yeah, no, I'm calling cap. Like I'm pretty sure. I don't know what more you have to do to get trade value interest. Like I don't really get it. But anyway,
Um, the only other thing I had was Connor Bedard post game was asked about Spencer Knight, and the quote was, "He's a dog," and then later on, "He's a stud."
woof, woof, woof. No, I agree. Spencer Knight is an absolute dog. Love that kid's mentality. He just brings a sort of like mentality culture change. Like he's going to be a big part of that. He's a leader, man. You could see it. I love that guy's aura, the energy he brings here, man. He's gonna be a fan favorite here. They're already selling Spencer Knight jerseys in the UC. He's only been there for less than a week, so I think that tells you a lot right there. You know, a lot of people are excited for him, and I think you should be. Like I think this is our guy. I know it's a small sample size, but I feel pretty damn confident. I think we should be if what he's been doing so far for sure. Yeah.
Uh, I don't know. You got anything else? I don't really have much else.
No, I mean, we got a back-to-back tomorrow against the Predators. Should be Joe Veleno's Hawks debut, so we'll see what he can do there in the bottom six there. Let's come away with consecutive wins. You know, that's a tank bowl tomorrow, Hawks Predators. So let's see another masterclass there. I believe that's in Nashville. So yeah, let's win that as well. I think a lot to be happy about tonight. Love to see Betsy OT winner, Frank the Tank, penalty shot goal. A lot to like tonight. So good night to be a Hawks fan.
The only thing that comes to my mind when I think of Joe Veleno is, do you remember not last Worlds, but the Worlds before that? Canada was playing Switzerland, and Joe Veleno delivered a vicious
Oh, was that him?
slew foot. Yeah,
I do remember that, yeah. Well, I
yeah,
just remember Valeno. Like, I remember back in the day, like when he was a prospect, like, wasn't he an exceptional status guy? Or like, if he wasn't, like, wasn't he like one of like that next tier or whatever? Like, there was a lot of hype around him. I remember. Um,
yeah.
and that hasn't really obviously he's never reached that potential, but he's 25. We'll see. A change of scenery. KD's had a habit of turning guys like that into gold, so we'll see. I'm looking forward to seeing him.
Oh, the slew foot was. I'm watching a video of this slew foot right now. It was on Nino Niederreiter. Just
Oh, no way.
oh, oh, oh my
I
gosh.
do recall that though. Yeah, he's had a few moments. He's a chippy guy. Maybe that's somebody this team needs though. Another chippy guy like that. We'll take it. Yeah, I'm excited to see him. Unironically.
Yeah, that's one of the craziest plays I've seen in a long time. But yeah, I mean, and that was probably the feistiest that dude's ever played. Like I don't think Detroit Red Wings fans would ever confuse Joe Veleno with super feisty.
Fair enough. Well, I mean, I think this trade for them, it didn't really matter what they did.
Oh,
That team's not going anywhere, Detroit. So, but no, I mean, big picture stuff. I think, by the way, like this is probably the most hype I've been after a game. Like when Bedard scored that OT goal, man, my heart was racing. It was racing, dude. Like that just fired me the hell up. I think I needed that as much as Connor Bedard did, honestly, dude. Like I just feel so happy for him. I didn't need to see it. I know what he's capable of. I'm just happy for his perspective. Hopefully that shuts the media up for a little bit and he goes on a run here. He goes on a tear then this season. Right? Not just one game. Let's go on a run now. That's what I want to see.
I'm just reading chat a little bit. Joe Nelly says I saw at least 5 night jerseys already worn tonight, and they were beside Bedard in the team store. So
Because we're gonna do this tonight. That's right. Our franchise forward, our franchise goalie. All we need is Artie Levshunov up here. Then we'll have all three, the trifecta. So no, the future is all coming together, man. It's all coming together.
and then somebody else. Oh, the Bedard assist on the Kaiser goal was
That was
really
sick.
good.
That was nice. He stuck with it, right? I mean, he was absolutely robbed. He could have easily had a goal there. Stuck with it on the play. Set up Wyatt Kaiser nicely. Another good game for Wyatt Kaiser. That's another young kid who he's been called back up here and he's been playing a lot better. Good to see. I'm glad they didn't have him out in the 3-3 this time because he was kind of lost in that Ottawa game in that situation. But no, game itself, I thought he had a good recovery, nice game. Good to see him get on the board and help Bedard break his low drought there. I think that's he got his swagger back, he got his confidence back, and he's going to keep rolling here. Yeah.
All right, you guys got anything else? You got anything else?
No, man, I'm just excited to soak this game in, man. After games like this, it's gonna be hard to sleep. Like I just riled up. I'm buzzing. I think he's buzzing too. I think the team is buzzing. The vibes are high right now, man. I mean, it's good to see these March 2025 Hawks, man. Let's finish the year strong. Still got some games left here. They might not mean anything in terms of, we're not going anywhere here, but these games do mean something in terms of development, setting the culture of this team, setting the trajectory of this team, building chemistry in these moments right now in these trenches. Like these are important games for the Hawks here. You still got stuff to play for here. So, let's finish the year strong. More moments like that. Like this was just awesome, man. Loved it for Bedard, loved it for the Hawks, and just love to see it.
Somebody saying, oh, Evan says predictions for tomorrow.
We'll
see.
Yeah, by the way, I think I said 4-2 Hawks, so I was pretty close, 4-3, pretty damn close there. But for tomorrow, yeah, Hawks win again. Predators suck, man. They're barely ahead of us in the standings. Like, I think they're a worse team than we are, considering expectations and roster. So I think we win consecutive games here, and we're probably gonna go to Soda. That's all right. I mean, we can rely on Soda too. Good tandem there. I say Hawks win. I will say they win 5-2 tomorrow.
I said they'd lose today, so I will stick with it and say that they lose again tomorrow, so that way it keeps the vibes going. If in case I'm dogging the team, I'm going to say they lose 4-1 to the Predators.
All right. But good old reverse jinx there. That's right. Yep. You can't fool me. I'm familiar with your game over there.
Me and Lee on the post game show tomorrow. Justin's got the night off, so
I'm so glad I got this one and not tomorrow. Well, now that I'm saying that, Bedard's probably gonna have another OT winner tomorrow, which I'd take that all day. But I'm so glad I was on for this one, man. What a game! What a moment, man. I think that's gonna be. I can't really. It's one moment. I think that was huge for him, man. I really think that was a very important goal for him. So let's see the fruits of that labor here.
All right, that's it from us. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. Tell your friends to subscribe to this YouTube channel. We really got to keep pushing up. We're almost at 600. I want that so soon. It really means a lot. And Instagram too. You guys have actually been really cool. You guys have started like sharing when we go live on your own personal Instagrams, and that just like means a lot that you're trying to get other people that follow you guys on Instagram in our chat and in on the show. Like that's super cool of all of you, so we really appreciate that. Keep tagging us in it if you do it. We see it, we like it if we do see it, so that means a lot. And yeah, that's it. Me and Lee tomorrow after the Nashville game. We will see everybody tomorrow.